From the very first scene, the cast of Friends feels like they've been doing this for years. So what made this the perfect pilot for the franchise? The chemistry? Instant. The rhythm? Tight. And somehow, this random group of New York 20-somethings talking about life and dating over coffee would go on to become one of the most iconic TV rosters of the 90s, maybe ever. Let's break it down. The episode kicks off in the way most Friends episodes do. A mid-conversation coffee shop hang already in progress. No setup, just vibes. It's simple, and it's effective because it leans on what the show does best. Let the kids bounce off each other. Right away, you feel like you're the seventh member of the group. And it's the template the show would follow for the next 10 years. There are 3 threads going on here. Ross is reeling after learning his ex-wife is a lesbian. He's a heartbroken romantic, left without anyone to love. Rachel has to run out on her wedding and is reconnecting with Monica to figure out what a job actually is after not knowing the meaning of the word independence. Monica is dating a guy who seems great until she finds out everything he says is a lie. Classic. And through those 3 conflicts, we get 22 minutes of jokes, chemistry, couch cushion wisdom, and heartstrings to pull. That emotional moment, Ross and Rachel's first one-on-one. One ice cream metaphor later, and history is made. Rachel trades her old life for an apron and a new start. Ross picks up the proverbial spoon and opens his heart back up, casually creating one of the most iconic will they won't they arcs of all time. It isn't anything super special, but it's the high floor, low ceiling nature of Friends. Consistency and comedy for a decade to come. Now, the thing this episode really puts a spotlight on is the cast dynamic. It's hard enough for a pilot to make us care about one main character. This show gave us 6. And what makes it work isn't just the writing. It's the rhythm, the back and forth, the chemistry. First off, Monica Geller, played by Courteney Cox. From the jump, Monica feels like the leader. Half the episode takes place in her apartment, and of the 3 major plot threads in this pilot, Monica is the emotional support system for all of them, including her own. She's the beta version of the neurotic clean freak she'll grow into, but the DNA is already there. She's smart, grounded, and somehow keeps this chaotic friend group upright. Next up, Ross Geller, played by David Schwimmer. Ross's first line of the series, his sad little hi, is technically the show's first catchphrase. If Monica is the in-universe leader, Ross is the audience's star of the show. His storyline, recently divorced, completely broken, and open to a world of unfair criticism, gives the episode its emotional core. And Schwimmer is already locked in. He goes on to be a full caricature of himself in later seasons. But from day one, he knows exactly who Ross is, a neurotic, lovable romantic who we either love or love to hate. Then there's Rachel Green, played by Jennifer Aniston. With every Ross comes a Rachel, and Rachel does not miss on her entrance. A wedding dress, a coffee shop, a dead sprint away from the altar into the arms of a high school bestie. It's dramatic, it's a little absurd, but it's perfect. If Ross is 1A in this pilot, Rachel is 1B. Their trajectories intertwine immediately, and Aniston nails every beat of the spoiled girl stepping into the real-world arc. From trying to mooch off her dad to cutting up the credit cards to pouring her first cup of coffee. This is the start of a long, funny, heartfelt redemption story, and Aniston's first steps into becoming America's sweetheart. Next up, Chandler Bing, played by Matthew Perry. Some actors grow into a role, but Perry shows up a finished product. Chandler is the show's joke machine, and from the first sarcastic monologue, it's clear this character is going to be a laugh track on repeat. Sometimes I wish I was a lesbian, and yet it never feels forced. So much so, his character is the least change from pilot to finale. And as someone who personally modeled his middle school humor on Chandler Bing, I can confirm, the tightrope between charming and annoying is incredibly real. And the late, great Matthew Perry walks it flawlessly. A legend from day one. Joey Tribbiani, played by Matt LeBlanc. Joey's reputation across 10 seasons of Friends is the lovable flirt, the sweet dummy, the guy who means well but says the wrong thing at the worst times. How you doing? But in the pilot, it's mostly just pickup lines. They work, they land, they're funny, but the warmth we associate with Joey isn't fully there yet. That said, the Chandler and Joey combo is already cooking. The dynamic is built for sitcom gold. These two revolutionized the modern TV bromance, before the word bromance was even a word. And finally, Phoebe Buffy, played by Lisa Kudrow. And then there's Phoebe, a new age weirdo, the spiritual queen, the emotional wrench in everybody else's logical gears. She gets less screen time in the pilot, but boy does she use it. She's even awarded with the line of the episode for me. Oh, I wish I could, but I just don't want to. Hey Phoebes, you want to help? Oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to. That's not just a punchline, guys. That's a philosophy. That's Phoebe. The chemistry these six have is unmatched and omnipresent from the very first scene. This pilot wasn't just the start of a hit. It was the start of an era. Somebody once said, Friends isn't the funniest show. It's just people saying things in a funny way. Sure, a fair critique. But the charisma carries this show past generations and into new ones. In the 90s, it was a live TV juggernaut. Week after week, millions tuned in to stay relevant around the water cooler. In the 2000s, the DVDs flew off the shelves. And if you don't believe me, look over my right shoulder at the Friends box set I've had since I was a kid, because I could not get enough of this show. Then in 2015, Netflix hit and changed streaming forever. When Friends came to Netflix, it was the biggest news in streaming at the time, and the first step in making this one of the most bingeable pieces of media of all time. Few shows have dominated every era of television the way Friends has. This show had, and still has, the power to insert itself into your friend group. If you had a gang of friends in the early 2000s, somebody was the Chandler, somebody was the Rachel, and somebody refused to admit they were the Ross. It became shorthand for personalities and friendships alike. Just like The Breakfast Club, it captured a moment and kept capturing it for every generation that followed. Timeless. The Friends pilot doesn't ask for your attention. It earns it. No one's favorite episode is episode 1. But the job of a pilot is to introduce the characters and tone in a way that makes you want more. And that this episode nails. 6 distinct personalities. 22 minutes of charm. One ridiculously strong foundation. The casting? Electric. The chemistry? Unteachable. The watchability? Eternal. Friends is infamously not for everyone. It never claimed to be. But if you like it, even a little bit, it's hard not to love it a lot. This was my parents' favorite show. I grew up on Central Perk and Purple Apartment Walls. And every time I watch this pilot, it kind of feels like coming home a little bit. Some people consider this a guilty pleasure. I consider it the perfect background TV show. And I'll be over here, 10 toes down, proudly claiming my spot as a top-tier Friends fan.